Hey, what's up? This is Chosen. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend. This is going to be a Raid Shadow Legends video going over everything that you need to know heading into the day and making sure you're keeping pace with things like the Supreme Elhain fragments. And we're going to talk about an unfortunate change and side effect happening with the fragments and the way that you have to play the game in terms of the different events and tournaments and how they are structured differently this time around. And then we'll also talk about what I think is the most optimal path if you're going to be doing the Clover event and claiming some of the rewards there. The Forge Pass Season 7 is coming to a close, and then we'll go over the offers in the shop and see if there's anything interesting to talk about this weekend. Let's get into it. Alrighty, now first of all, I'm getting really tired of having to scroll and look for the damn event champion, and I every time I scroll past it, I miss it. I'm like, wait a minute, where was it? I'm looking for and I gotta spend 10 to 20 seconds every single time to go in. And can we just have like a section up top for featured champion and put Supreme Elhain at the top, because there's literally currently an event going on in game featuring this champion? That would be a fantastic change. But anyway, I believe it's like sorted. Let me reset. I believe it's sorted in like the order of the fragments. So if you actually know how many fragments you have, you can kind of scroll through and then wait. But no, it's not. And it's not sorted by the order of fragments. It like, yeah, because you gotta go. Yeah, okay. So so these are 75 and then 50 and then it's sorted. But why are these one? Okay, so I don't know. It's listing like Doom Tower champions above or whatever their system is, but it doesn't make sense, and it's not fun to scroll and find the damn champion every time. But anyway, I digress. Let's pull up the fragment event calendar here for Supreme Elhain, and I want to talk about something that's unfortunate. So I noticed this when the calendar first came out, and I noticed how there is 150 fragments available here on the calendar, and there was usually 155. Now, the reason this is so unfortunate is Plarium's kind of like optimizing the system in order to get as many shards out of you and make you pull during both the champion chase and the summon rush. You used to be able to kind of min-max and plan a little bit so that you could just do one of the summoning weekends, but this is a little bit of unfortunate because, like, for me, you can see I've got 50 fragments and I've done everything. I've been very diligent about managing and getting every single tournament and event and everything, and the reason this ends up being such a big deal is you can see I'm at 50 right now, and it's like we're like right here on the events at the 18th. So I'm gonna go from 50 to 55 after this, and then to 60, and then to 65, and then right here this will be 70. We're gonna skip talking about the summoning rush for now, and then this will be 75, and then this 5 will bring me up to 80. And then the 10 right here will bring me to 90. And what this meant is that usually there was 5 more fragments. There'd be like one more event sprinkled in here, one more like Dungeon Divers 3 or whatever, and I would be able to go from 90 to 95. And what that meant is in the summon rush, I would only have to get the 5 fragments that are a little bit more close to the beginning of points, and then that would bring me up to 100. But what Plarium has done is, let me back up here. What Plarium has done is they've removed 5 fragments from here. So now I'm only going to have the 90. And if I only get the 5 from the summon rush, I will miss out and only have 95 fragments. So it means that I either have to get the next 15 on the summon rush and have extra fragments that I don't need, which I guess you could argue I could skip other stuff then, like I could skip the champion training or whatever, or I could just intentionally end up short and say that I'm going to end up at 90, 95 fragments and then wait until they sell some fragments. They usually sell them for about $2 a piece. You'll usually see a pack for like $20 that is 10 fragments or something. So it really puts you in a conundrum where, you know, honestly, it might be best to just end up short on fragments, because in order to get the full points on the summon rush, they've inflated it to where it's over 4,000 points. And it's a lot cheaper for me to just wait and buy the fragments than to sit here and pull like 30 or 40 voids or something during a weekend where there isn't a 2x going on. So You know, I almost, we've never seen them do legendary versions of the starter champions, but I almost just want to end up short and just end up at 90 fragments and then purchase them for $20 or something, because it's cheaper than spending like $70 worth of void shards to finish a summon rush. So yeah, really unfortunate, and it's just something that it's just that another little a little way that they got us here, and took an event that would have been fun, and instead kind of like turned it into a min-max kind of thing to squeeze us. You know, I hate to be negative, and overall I'm positive about the game long term, but really unfortunate. I hope they go back to the normal structure and allow us to kind of pick and choose which event we want to do on which weekend, instead of kind of feeling pressured to do both, or just intentionally end up short and then hope that we get a fragment offer for the champion. Because as you see right here, the 4,300 for the 15 fragments, like me personally, I'm either going to have to do that, or I'm just going to have to end up short and then hope that an offer pops up in the shop for 5 or 10 fragments that I can buy to finish my Supreme Elhain. So I don't really know what I'm going to do. I mean, it's literally, it's like 9 sacreds. You know, I guess you could pull 6 or 7 and then round it out with mystery shards or something, but either way, I don't like to be bleeding sacred shards every weekend, because eventually I'm going to end up with 0, which is their goal, even if you're hitting ultra and nightmare every day. So a little bit of a conundrum that I'm going to be thinking about over the next day or so. Then I also want to talk about the Path of the Clover event, because I know some of you maybe aren't doing the Supreme Elhain fragments, and maybe you want to put in some resources to this event, because there is a big Eternal Soulstone down here, which is one of the most individually valuable resources in Raid. So, you know, if somebody weren't doing the fusion and they had a decent amount of resources to go after that, I could see it. What I would probably do for the optimal path is I would take the 2 coins up here in the top row. You've got your immortal coins and your mortal coins over here. I would take those 2. Then I would come down the right side, scoop up your core hammers, scoop up your silver, and then come down to the ancient shard, and then scoop up your immortal soulstone down here, and then hopefully work into the epic book to unlock the middle, and then scoop up this. I think that's the most valuable resource down here. And obviously, you know, they value this as 3 legendary books, and I think in terms of offers, it's way more valuable than 3 legendary books. Because if we pull this up and we put in a legendary book in terms of pack value, we got 375, and then for one of these, we've got 30 in terms of pack value. So, you know, like a 7 times ratio, and it's only 3 times the points. So I would for sure, if you are going hard in the Path of the Clover event, I would for sure prioritize trying to get the Eternal Soulstone. It's a little bit more value than going for like the 2 legendary books for 20k or something. At least in terms of trying to acquire something in game based on how Plarium makes them available to us. Now, each of you can value things differently, but in terms of the reference and the framework of the game, I would say this is probably a lot more valuable than 2 or 3 legendary books. But if you are going for the Supreme Elhain events, then obviously the big thing you want to make sure and focus on today is going to be the Artifact Enhancement event. I need to go and do this because I still need to get another 2,700 points or whatever to make sure I scoop up the 5 right there. And then I'm going to be going through and kind of reassessing throughout the day and chatting with different people and wondering what I should do about shards and all of that. As far as tournaments, there is going to be an Ice Golem tournament. So for the next couple of days, you're going to want to run that, and then make sure you're doing your arena fights as well, because there is a classic arena takedown where there is some fragments up for grabs for Supreme Elhain as well. And the Forge Pass is also coming to a close. You've got less than a couple days left on the Forge Pass, and then we are probably down to a couple weeks or so left in the, actually just over a week left on the Doom Tower. So yeah, the Doom Tower is also kind of hitting that point where you want to start focusing on the secret rooms and at least clearing as many of those as you can, and then ideally probably pumping those silver keys into farming Astronix Dark Fae for the lethal set, if you've got a good enough team to be able to farm her, because the lethal set is my favorite set to farm for in this rotation. So that's what I'm going to be dumping my secret room bonus silver keys into. And it's that time of the day where we pop open the shop and take a look here. That's not amazing start to the chain. The soul stones, I'm hoping they'll do the half price blessings. So I'm not really looking for that right now. This one's probably better. So So this pack string is probably better than the chained, if I had to kind of guess. Starting with 2 sacreds for 40, I'd rather probably start here, because this one will probably grade out a lot better on the 2 and the 3. The monthly, this chained, okay, this is for energy, and then the mini mix, and then the free, the regeneration, and okay, so unfortunately, nothing super noteworthy in the shop today. For the spenders out there, I would probably prioritize the pack string that starts with the ancients and then goes ancients and voids for 2 and 3 here in the chain. So good luck on your weekend grind trying to get Supreme Elhain, and I've been playing a lot of Diablo 4. I'm in the closed beta, and that is going on right now for this weekend, the next couple days. So pretty busy weekend for me. I played it probably 10 hours yesterday, and I'll get a dedicated video at the end of the beta, maybe early next week. For those of you that are RPG gamers and interested in the gaming landscape in general, I'll upload my final thoughts on the beta. I know this isn't a Diablo channel, but it is big gaming news, so I'll talk about how it compares to Raid, and is it going to be as big as Raid, and all of the just general thoughts around the closed beta that's going on right now for Diablo 4, because I am playing it a lot and streaming it a decent amount over on Twitch. So I appreciate all of you. Have a great rest of your day. Remember to subscribe on your way out if you enjoy daily Raid Shadow Legends content. Have a great weekend. I'll see you soon in the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace.